Having heard from the Wool Sat that we're going to take the first one first and we've had the second one first, I want to go back, and I don't want to talk about studios. Not that I don't know anything about recording studios, it's just that I have nothing more to add from what my colleagues have raised. I want to raise a wider point about what happens when you do make changes, though, in the business rate system. And at this stage, I want to say that actually it's very important that the business rate system has the right incentives and fairness for small businesses, as well as particularly those on the high streets, which have such a cultural contribution to our nation. We've seen in the newspapers, as well as in these regulations, what happens when you make alterations to the business rates that pertain to pubs, hotels, restaurants, between retail and industrial, large businesses versus small. And it's one of those truths that the winners tend to keep quiet, but it can be existential for losers. And that's partly because the amount of money that is raised by business rates is fixed. And as you give a relief in one place, it pops up with additional burdens elsewhere. That's just sort of the way the system works. But for local government, stability and buoyancy in the system is important. And when you change the system, there are downstream consequences. Because, my lords, business rates very largely pay for the delivery of local government services. Yes, there's redistribution within the nation of the money that's raised. So, for example, here we are in Westminster. Very directionally, they raise nearly 1 in 12 of every pound raised in business rates in our nation. And that £2 billion or so is redistributed to Redcar, to Redroof, to Wroxham, all around the country with complicated process of ceilings and floors. There's also systems within county areas, they tend to be, for pooling, so that all councils can pool together to grow the economy. And that's important because the system is designed with powerful incentives for councils to grow the economy on the simple truth that the more you grow the economy, the more you keep. And of course, resets happen every now and again, and they are a disincentive to grow, and all that effort wasted as the business rates baseline is washed away. That, my lords, is the context within I wish to make my subsequent remarks. Because in the last few weeks there have been technical changes in the way that baselines and pooling would have done, which would have very material effects on the district councils. About 10% for most councils of their net budget would have been swept away, badly impacting on homelessness, recycling, building, and all the things we need to get the economy going. And that's especially germane because the district councils outside the M25 and the urban metropolitan centres tend to be the planning authorities that actually get growth going. So I know that the district councils network, and more widely the local government family, is grateful that the technical changes that could have caused that 10% disaster have been fixed in the coming year, but only for 1 year and 1 year only. And, my lords, I think that as we look at business rates more generally and altering the application of business rates, we just need to make sure that the Treasury and the local government department are better aligned in future years so that we avoid the perverse outcomes that we might have seen. It's not fair on councils to have the uncertainty. It's certainly not the right thing for the economy because confidence and long-term stability provides that central alignment between central and local government to generate wealth in these islands. And it's incumbent upon national government to ensure they don't accidentally damage that delicate balance that keeps the economy growing and people in work and taxes paid.